had one or two. Like I feel like drumming up conversation might have been on three
Yeah, it
times,
might have been 3. Yes, that's true.
and maybe Robin was only twice. But I feel like we might have had one other one in there. Hankin was twice.
Yeah, drumming up conversation. They reached out to Addison James, and she's doing their show now.
Yes, and I think it might be in person because they kind of live close to
Yes.
each other. I'm not 100% on that, but that should be a fun show.
Well, lucky them. They get to see her in person.
Oh yeah, that's right. I should tell the audience. And I'm doing a live UFC Fight House companion for UFC at the White House card on June 14th with Drumming Up Conversation. So that should be fun.
Nice.
8 p.m. Yeah. Just the only caveat to that is if I happen to get tickets, I'm going and I'm not doing the podcast.
I'm out. See ya.
Yeah. So yeah, that should be fun, man. 8 p.m. Kick that off.
Is that a normal ticket buying process? I mean, they have to go through your security and shit. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you have to. You can't buy tickets. You have to win them. So like you had to go through a process to where you had to give like all your IDs. You had to like
you go through the process and before you even get into the contest to get the tickets.
Yeah.
Okay.
You had to like give like $1 from your bank to like I guess so they can go through your banking financials. Like it was pretty intense.
Jesus. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't go live on Instagram. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just checking if you sent any money to Taliban or something shit.
Oh, that could be. Oh, I didn't even think about that. You're probably right with that. Wow.
Either receiving or getting money, sending money somewhere weird would be a red flag. Joe Rogan, he keeps talking about it. At least a few times he's mentioned it. He doesn't keep talking about it, but he's like, I don't really like, I'm going to do it, but I'm not excited about doing it. He's because of the security of it and everything.
Yeah. Well, it's a good time to where, a lot of the military is going to be there. A lot of like the bigger, politicians are going to be there. It'd be a good place to blow up, to be honest.
Yeah.
Shitty to say, but yeah. Oh yeah, exactly. But I think that's why he was saying, Trump was saying that he wants to get the White House ballroom fixed because not only is it going to be great to have dignitaries there and stuff like that, but it's like, it's
way more secure, right?
Yeah,
like that because when they had the shooting at the Correspondents' Dinner, that they have to do that in a hotel because they don't have the space at the White House. This is what freaks me out about all these people, like, well, the lefties fucking going off about the White House renovation. It's like, oh, he's destroying the house. It's like, I guess Trump or the White House just put out a video of the iterations of the White House over the years and the things that have been added, things that have been taken away. It's like it evolves as the house, right?
Yeah.
It is different presidents have done construction on it. They've torn things down. They've built other things.
It's been
the only difference with this time is that it's Trump and the left has to fucking resist everything that he fucking does. It's just so dumb. And
it really is.
I saw a post and there was like a Fox post about the whole thing. And this one guy was like, it was Trump talking about it, like about the security implications with this judge shutting down construction for no fucking reason other than he's trying to resist Trump. It's just so stupid. But the one guy was like, no one gives a fuck about your ballroom. It's like, well, you do. Because you're on here commenting about it. Would you give a fuck if it was Obama building a ballroom? No, you wouldn't say a fucking word. It's retarded.
Yeah, sorry about that. I gotta tell. So the audience knows I was just completely distracted because I'm wearing glasses and they fucking notifications in my ear. So I'm shutting that off right now. I didn't realize that going in.
Glasses on. Watch out.
Yeah, the gay bands, as I call them, the meta gay bands.
Gay bands.
But yeah, dude. Check this out, man. I got a little something cool that this is kind of things that we've always thought about these people who were killed or dead under like suspicious circumstances. But this kind of puts it all in like a one little like picturesque thing about these 7 high-ranking people the government wanted dead. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Malcolm X, Michael Jackson, Diana.
So the first one reads, Michael Jackson, FBI file decades, died from propofol given by his personal doctor. The doctor served 2 years. The file is still classified.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
I thought he was
So
in
how
jail
great?
for many years. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. And so 2 years, they actually convicted him of murder. Like that's what the charge was, and he
Right.
only got 2 years for it. Like that's crazy. Whoopsie.
Jesus.
Marilyn Monroe affairs with both Kennedy
Oh yeah.
brothers.
She
Insane.
makes sense. Why were they
Oh yeah.
after Michael Jackson though? Because he's so
Uh,
popular or
so well, a couple things. So this is crazy. Supposedly he was saving kids from Epstein's Island. That
right.
could be far fetched.
I heard
Two,
that one.
it
Yeah.
was Sony supposedly wanted him dead because he owned like so much of a huge music catalog, Beatles, his own, blah 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 blah. He wasn't really doing touring or anything. Like they've made billions off him now that he's dead. He
Of
wasn't
course.
making shit while he was alive. So I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. The government, like I said, the only thing I could think of would be the Epstein tie, if that's the case. But
Right.
who knows?
Yeah.
And then it says she knew state records, dead from an overdose. Nobody can explain. Phone records seized by the FBI that
Yeah,
night.
she
Really?
makes sense. Like why they would want her dead. That makes sense.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
And then this will make sense too. Bob Marley. CIA gave him boots with copper wire that infected his toe. He refused amputation. Cancer spread. He was dead at 36. How did they
Jesus.
did you ever hear that about the copper wire thing? And why
Never
would
heard
he
that.
why would he wear them? You know? Or were they like, you're wearing them or we're killing you?
And what did copper wire? Did he wear socks? That's fucking strange. I don't how. What's the mechanism there
know.
with copper wire? That's
Right.
interesting.
So I'm thinking like maybe they gave him boots, had a copper wire poking in it. He stepped on it. It got infected and he just never got, I don't know.
Well, that's what. Yeah, exactly. How did that work and why did it
Right.
work? Never heard that.
This is one that I didn't really think about, but makes sense too. John Lennon. FBI called him a threat to national security. He was surveilled for years. His killer had CIA ties, dude. Declassified files from the government, wanted him silenced.
That makes sense. And back in the 60s and 70s when
Yeah.
he was part of the hippie movement, if you will.
And what was that dude's name? Like something Walter Papa Chapman, like a 3-name thing, which like a lot of lone assassins have.
Yeah, something Chapman.
Yeah. Charlie Big Balls Chapman.
That's right. Strawberry Fields Chapman.
That's right.
Let's look it up on Perplexity.
Yeah, Bobby should have been on that. Princess Diana, Chad. We figured that one too. I'm sure.
But I mean, so are they saying the CIA wanted her dead or like the British?
Yeah, they're saying
intelligence?
MI6 for this
Okay,
one.
that makes sense.
Do you think they're all one, dude? Like, I feel like Israeli, MI6, and CIA are fucking the same beast.
Mark David Chapman. I think that
There it
they, at the top, they're probably all connected very well, but I mean, they're separate organizations, but they all work together very closely. Yes.
True.
So basically one.
But again, all this stuff is kind of in your face, and there's just these facts that you even knew from back then, but they just seem now like MI6 had her under surveillance. Of course, we knew that she was, Princess Di. Why wouldn't they? She was exposing landmine manufacturers. Did not know that. The car crash in Paris, never fully explained. Knew that, and then the driver was on MI6's payroll. Knew that because it was like a Secret Service type of deal on their end.
Right. I can't believe they haven't gone after Harry and his
for
stupid
excommunicated
wife.
Yeah.
He's gonna wake up. He's gonna wake up out of that marriage one day and go, "What the fuck happened to me?" Because she got him to fucking renounce his family and leave the.
Yeah, man.
For her, give me a break, dude. She is
what kind of magical
complete narcissist. It's hilarious to watch her. When you understand what a narcissist does and how they gaslight their partners and shit, it's like, yeah, we got to leave. You have to leave the royal family because we might have a child and they might be black and they might be racist.
Yeah, well, I mean, who knows how sinister it was, because they're saying this Princess Di thing, like she knew shit about Prince Andrew, blah, 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 blah. So, I mean, with Harry, I mean, he might have been fine with being excommunicated because he might have known shit that, about the royal family that he wasn't on board with.
True.
And then they're calling his wife a fucking every black name under the sun. I heard like literally Queen Elizabeth or whatever was like calling her a dirty N-word and all that jazz.
Damn.
Yeah.
Well, that's different then. It's interesting.
Tupac Shakur filed, FBI opened a file on him at 16, Chad. His mother was a Black Panther, knew that, spoke against the government publicly, shot dead at 25. Nobody ever charged.
Did you ever hear the controversy that he was gay? You ever see those early videos where he's like all effeminate and stuff? I wonder if that's true or not. I don't know if it's ever, I don't know if it's, I mean, I don't fucking care, but back then I guess that made I guess that would have made a big difference though in his career, possibly.
Oh, for sure. There was no, I mean, now he'd be all right, but there was no young black man that was going to look up to a fucking gay dude rapping.
Right.
You know, they'd be like, fuck this.
Well, I don't know if they would do that today, the black.
Yeah, maybe not, but I don't know. Number 7, Malcolm X, FBI's COINTELPRO target. I don't even know what that is. Targeted him for years. Phone tapped, house firebombed, assassinated in front of 400 people. Maybe I don't know the Malcolm X story, dude. What, like, he was shot and just how in front of 400 people? I guess
I don't know. I don't know that his assassination. I do know that he warned everybody about white liberals.
Who would have thought?
And they're not good for the black community. No shit.
That's why who would have thunk that? Well, yeah.
Who was president when he was assassinated? What year was he assassinated?
Good luck with that. Bobby, look that up while we're on the show, you prick. Chad should not have to do that. The biggest concert crowds ever recorded. And then you just, put it right in the chat there, buddy. Anyway, check this out, dude. This is crazy when you start to see what the visual of these concerts look like. This is the biggest concerts worldwide. I don't even know who Vasco Rossi is, but 225,000 people. Looks pretty big. What's the biggest audience you played for, Chad?
I think both the Woodstocks, they were over 300,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've seen to see people like that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The original Woodstock 400 G's. That looks crazy. Hippies. Look at this, dude. 1.5 million on the beach. The Rolling Stones. That's crazy. Look at all the people behind the stage.
That is fucking insane.
Wow. 1.6 million. Monsters of Rock, Moscow, 91. Oh, I saw Metallica playing there, dude.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
That's crazy when you see the sea of people bouncing to Enter Sandman.
That was right after the wall came down and fucking, that was crazy.
Jean-Michel Jarre, 2.5 million people in Paris. Like, who are these people that I don't know but can pack a crowd like that?
Well, there's lots of European artists that you've never heard of. They're fucking huge. Play arenas and shit all.
You mean you're a shitting artist, not European? Right. 3 million people. Jorge Ben-Hur, named after my old grandmother. Jesus. Ben-Hur was my grandmother's. That's crazy.
I would not be caught dead in that crowd, dude. Fuck that shit.
Right, because how do you, like, God forbid there's like something happens and people got to disperse. People are dying.
That's insane.
Rod Stewart, 3.5 billion. Oh, at the same place the Stones were.
Well, it's just, I think the last one you just showed was there too. They've all been on Copacabana Beach in Brazil. Well, it's Rio. Gotcha. So it's in Rio. So probably Copacabana.
Probably same spot, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess Rod Stewart was the biggest, man. That's crazy. But I guess he's European. Real quick for Spencer Pratt today, right? Because today's the day he could possibly get a 50% majority.
Get out and vote, LA. Come on, get out and vote. Come on.
Let's play a little of this for them too. Spencer Pratt shares what may be the best post in political history. Everything is awful under Karen Bass. Let's check it out.
Everything is awful. Everything is hell when you're part of the scene. Karen Bass is awful and burning down our streets. Dirty needles, human waste. We just named 2 awful things. A stolen car, a burned down house. You know what's awful? Everything. Moms in shock, hit the locks. A camp of addicts down the block. Lots of tents, a very big mess. Awful scenes are not the best. Camps, traps, and crap. They're awful. Crack, smack, and shacks. They're awful. Slums, and scum, and bums. That's awful. Everything you see or smell or touch is awful. Karen Bass is awful.
Oh my God.
Everything
What's crazy about that is it's comedy and it's Legos, but it's not hyperbole. It's fucking real. That's LA.
Right.
And people just fucking put up with it and they vote for this idiot. Like this woman, I liked it with the interview he did on Fox. I think it was on Fox where there's a Fox affiliate in LA where they're asking him like, so what were you were on your reality show 20 years ago. How are you qualified to be mayor? And he's like, what was Karen Bass doing 20 years ago? She was in Cuba. She was in Cuba learning how to make bombs to bomb the fucking Capitol. She's a full-on commie, dude. She's been to fucking Cuba. She idolizes Castro. She's been to Cuba like 30 times or something. She's a full-on communist. And she's now the mayor of LA, and she has fucking wrecked it worse than it was before she got in. And
are you using hyperbole?
Vote for her. Sorry?
Are you using hyperbole, or do you really think she's an actual communist?
I think she's an actual communist.
Gotcha.
And then the other woman running against him, she's a member of the Democrat Socialist Party. Yeah.
And just they're okay with that in Cali. Like
apparently
socialist.
Like, not only can you be a communist, but you can destroy the fucking city and dumbasses will still fucking vote for you. It's like, how bad does it have to get? It's like Mom Donnie, he's a fucking communist too up in New York.
Oh, fuck yeah. New York was just voted the #1 sin city in the world. Vegas is down to #7. Let's go to our next guest, though, there, Mr. Gracie. And while we are bringing him on, I have a little intro song for the man, the myth, the legend. Mr. Electric Gnosis is coming on.
Here we
Let's all give him a big old welcome here, folks. Joshua James, Electric Gnosis 3.0.
Dropping knowledge, hit 'em with the facts. Mind spinning dizzy so they can't react. Beat the flow, reeling with the feeling. I wanna go fast. Never slow, but never lose. Always in control. If you can't keep up, just sit back and watch the show. You can't get near me with your conspiracy theory on level 99, yo. Can you hear me? I'm a dreamer, schemer, but still a believer. I saw her face and she's a redeemer. No one to compete, it's all complete. Bow down to your God, bow down at my feet. Worship at the altar of truth. Nobody's got the same.
Alrighty then. I don't know if he's here now, folks, but
he was there for a moment.
He was there for a moment.
You
I don't know if we have sound. I think we have sound. Are you there, Mr. Electric
Can you hear me?
Gnosis? I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
No seeing, but
You can't see me,
we
though.
could. No.
Oh no.
You were there for a brief moment and then you clicked off and went black.
Let me
Once you go
bounce
black,
off and bounce
you
right back
never go
on. Let me
back.
try to
Yeah,
bounce off and bounce right back on. All right.
Cool, no problem.
You know how we do, folks, with our live show. Ladies, oh, dude, I had a bunch of, oh, yeah, I'll put this up while we're waiting, man. I had a bunch of cool videos pulled from, I don't know if it was like a Victoria's Secret thing, but some modeling thing this weekend. But there it is, man. New York City has overtaken Las Vegas for America's most sinful city, according to a new 2026 study commissioned by PokerTube. It lists, as far as nightlife, bars, casinos, adult entertainment, dating, demos, alcohol use, and public health data. New York City,
Wow.
biggest sin city, y'all.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I kind of would think that, though. It's like, there we go. Boom, shakalaka. Mr. Joshua Electric Gnosis James is back. What up, dog?
Oh,
No. Joshua, we're gonna have to do this again, dude. When you are near a Wi-Fi connection, the cellular's not working, my man. We could try to
You
do
can't.
this audio only. Let me see how this will look if we go audio only. I'm gonna hide camera, keep audio, see how this works. Joshua, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Yeah, we can totally do it audio only. Nobody needs to see my face.
Well, I mean, they do, because I would totally appreciate it, but we'll try to do it this way and see if I could focus. And sometimes it's hard for me if I'm not looking at your lovely face. But anyway, my man, that's a cool
that's so
song you
strange.
got.
I've got plenty of signal, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, we can. It's up to you. If you want to roll with it, we'll roll with it.
Let's roll with it, my man.
roll with it.
So welcome back, dude. Show 3.0 for you. We were missing you these couple months that you weren't putting some stuff out, but glad to have you back on, dude.
Yeah, I took about a month and a half off to kind of refocus and come back with some more focused and channeled energy, and decide what was important and what I really wanted to share and what I wanted my message to be. And yeah, I'm glad to be back on. It's always a pleasure chatting with you guys. Everything's on the table. You're super open-minded and ready to get into some crazy stuff today.
Sweet.
Absolutely. And I had it pulled, but maybe I'm missing it for your new video series that you're doing. There was like a flyer I had. Let me stop sharing.
It's okay.
And look for
I can talk about it. You don't really need a visual for it. No big deal.
Cool. Let's go.
Yeah, so I guess I can start off by talking about the new video series. So there are these artifacts that were found in the Jalisco region of Mexico, and I've seen them years ago, and I mean they're finding them by the thousands, and I'm sure some of them are fake. I thought immediately they were all fake, but then I stumbled upon this researcher. Oh shoot, what's his name? Trevor. I think it's Trevor Hawk.
Okay.
Forgive me if I got his last name wrong, but he totally thinks these things are real. And what he's done to prove this is he's had them analyzed by a specialist that works with geopolymer. His name is Joseph Davidovitz. So Joseph Davidovitz has been claiming and showing evidence for decades. The Peruvian megaliths, like some of them, and some of the megaliths in Egypt are basically like concrete, basically like an ancient like geopolymer, and they weren't ever carved at all, which makes a lot more sense than like chipping away with bronze tools and carrying 50-ton megaliths across, like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
right.
Especially those walls in Cusco and stuff. Yeah,
and basically showing through chemical analysis and different things that are present within the microscopic and chemical composition of the megaliths that they are, a lot of them are geopolymer or just ancient concrete. And so these artifacts are the same way. And some of the Peruvian megaliths, like I think it's in Cusco, under a UV light, they glow. They react to UV light. And so do these artifacts. And then I don't put too much stock in like radiocarbon dating because it's something I can't verify for myself at all, and anybody can pull the wool over anybody's
Wait, so Joshua, are you getting to why them reacting to UV light is significant, or is that just something you were mentioning? Because that seems like something that could be significant.
Well, basically, it comes down to what elements were used in the geopolymer. And like, normal everyday stones and granite, it doesn't typically react to UV light. So it's just more proof that it's geopolymer.
Gotcha.
Right. And then the other thing is there are you cannot radiocarbon date stone or artificial stone, but there were adhesives used to like adhere or glue like things onto the artifacts.
Right.
And they radiocarbon dated that. And some of the radiocarbon dating came back as far as 20,000 years ago, 18,000 BC, like the pre-deluge, pre-Younger Dryas, like Atlantean stuff.
Wow.
And these things are called the Aztlan artifacts or the Jalisco artifacts. There's multiple names for them. But, his angle is that aliens, right? But I think it's too convenient that his research is coming out right when the government, wants to tell us all about these aliens. And I think there's an agenda to make us want to believe in aliens rather than understanding that there are advanced non-Homo sapien species on this Earth that didn't necessarily have to originate from another planet.
Right.
We have evidence Neanderthals, Denisovans, Homo capensis, all these different types of hominids that have interacted, some with very large skulls and very large statures. Yeah. So I don't think they're aliens, and I don't think all the artifacts are legitimate, but I do think there's something there. And so on the series, what I'm exploring is, I tell in the first episode about what I just told you about what makes them seem legitimate. But
wait,
in
so
the future
Joshua, before we
episodes,
go
what I do is
further,
I take a
real,
few of the art.
real quick,
What's that?
so do you not believe in like aliens at all? Like, are you saying that all like the videos and stuff that they're putting out now is like from people that were on Earth, and these are just like factions that we don't know about?
Yeah, I think that, when they say look up, you should look down. I think that there are recurring cataclysms on this realm. I think there are fiery cataclysms, and we'll get into a little bit about that with the plasma stuff. And I think the only way that some people survive is deep underground and underground bunkers. And that we need to be
What
looking
about
down.
underwater, dude? Underwater bunkers, bro, because they're saying these aliens
Yeah.
or whatever the hell we don't
Yeah.
know about, like they got bunkers underwater, bro. That would be a good place to
5%.
survive.
Listen, yeah, 5% of the ocean is explored, right? The ocean floor. So there
True.
could be biodomes underneath the and the thing is, in China, they showed stuff like how under the ocean there's more ocean. Like the ocean floor isn't the ocean, and there's plenty of
Right.
evidence showing that the ocean floor is like almost perfectly flat in certain parts, and it almost seems like it's artificially constructed by an intelligence rather than being a natural ocean floor. So
Right.
yeah, none of that's off the table for me. And in the episodes, I explore, basically, I take a few of the artifacts, and then I find artifacts all over the world that have similar tropes or motifs or designs or art on the artifacts.
Were any of those pictures you sent me? Did you want me to pull anything up in those pictures?
We can get into those when we talk more about the plasma event.
It's different. Gotcha.
But yeah, it's not a big deal. I mean, people can go to my channel, Electric Gnosis, and the videos are all there if they're interested. I know a lot of people just immediately brush it off as fake, but I like to dive a little deeper and see if there's a kernel of truth, to it. And I think there is. And one thing my episode 4, which is going to be released a week from Wednesday, is going to be focusing on this culture called the Chupacuaro culture. And they're very, very like off the radar. And the motifs that I'm finding in their artifacts that are legitimately preserved in like museums, and even the mainstream narrative says these people existed, they look just like artifacts from the Jalisco, and from, there's another one called the Acambaro artifacts, where people are depicted with dinosaurs and stuff, kind of like on the Ica stones from Peru. So
is this a Central or South American civilization?
Yeah, Mesoamerican, South America,
Okay.
Down in that area. Yeah, they're called the Chupacuaro. And the more I dive into these, just like in America, right? Every Native American tribe has a different name, but there's so much evidence to show that they were all like connected, and a lot of them were intermarrying and mixing, and they have different names, but they're very, very closely related. And I'm finding the same things in links between like Peru, the Nazca people, the Chachapoyas, what's the other one?
Chupacabra.
The skull, the ones where the skulls, the giant skulls were found. I can't remember the name right now. But Nazca, Peru, Central America, Mesoamerica, Guatemala, so Joshua, Brazil.
You think that there was like humans or something very similar to humans that were around when the dinosaurs roamed?
Well, let's clear it first of all. Most of the dinosaur skeletons are like, fragments and then reconstructed and just like a guess on what they looked like, right? There's only like 5% of the actual bones left.
True.
And people say, oh, dinosaurs are a hoax. It wasn't even a word until like the 1850s. And that's true. And it just means terrible lizard. But we have legitimate documented examples of, in the last plasma apocalypse that happened, before that happened, or after that happened, it caused the extinction of a lot of what even mainstream science calls megafauna. Basically, yes. Giant versions of every single animal that we still have on the planet today. So I think if people just want to say, oh, dinosaurs are fake, well, what about really giant lizards? What about really giant birds, which are really closely related to lizards, and even the mainstream says they're related to dinosaurs, right? So when I say dinosaurs, or when somebody says dinosaurs, you can just think really big birds or really big lizards if you don't, believe in dinosaurs. But yes, I believe that just like giant megafauna exist in our past and still have their skeletons on display in museums and are documented in the mainstream history, giant versions of humans existed too, and coexisted with them. And there is proof done with like plants and dragonflies and different animals that if there is a more oxygen dense atmosphere, that, like, let's say we have, I don't know, 5% oxygen in our air right now.
Right.
If I was breathing 30% oxygen since the day I was born, I'd be a lot bigger. If I was breathing 70% oxygen, you know what I mean? So the more oxygen they expose dragonflies to, the bigger they get. So I think that there was a different composition of air and a different ratio of oxygen in our atmosphere in the past, and that everything had giant versions.
Don't they actually kind of know that or hypothesize that it was a real oxygenated environment when the dinosaurs were roaming?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's evidence of that in amber and in ice core samples. Yeah.
You can go back and find old articles where they found giant skeletons like in the early 1900s, 1800s, and then the government comes in, takes them, and they disappear.
Well, yeah. The articles are even written, and the excavations are done by respected archaeologists of the day, and university heads accompany these excavations, and then the Smithsonian demands that they send the bones to them, and then we lost them, or they just disintegrated, or whatever.
Possibly like between 8 and 15 foot tall human beings, basically.
Wow.
They found skeletons on Catalina Island, I believe, too.
Yes, no doubt about it. It's one of the biggest cover-ups.
Wait, so they're the Smithsonian's taking them and then just like losing possession of them, or are they actually like dismissing them, saying,
they're burying them in
crazy.
Jones.
Well, every once in a while they'll hold one up and say, "Oh, this is a hoax," right? But then with the 95% of them that are real, they just pretend that they lost them. Oh, we lost them. We lost them. They say they lost them.
Yeah, they're in.
They don't have any records of that. Even though in these old articles that you can find newspaper clippings, like Chad was saying, there's documented records, tons of them, all across America, of respected people involved in mound excavation, finding giants with unusual skull shapes, big jaws, double rows of teeth, 6 fingers. Yeah. And then even the newspaper says that, the Smithsonian's going to investigate, or they're about to turn them over to the Smithsonian for more investigation. And then when anybody follows up with the Smithsonian or tries to get any more information about it, we lost them.
I mean, depending on how, like, wouldn't you, after they lost like one of these findings, like be like, all right, you're no longer in the chain of custody for important artifacts because you're losing shit that could possibly change humanity.
You got to remember the environment, though. It was local newspapers. Maybe a national newspaper would cover it, but like no one had the internet to fucking put them all together, all the different articles, and go, oh, this one was found.
Well, and they make laws too, right? Where you can't just keep something that you excavate like that because it, So yeah, it's all rigged, man. It's rigged to filter the information to the top so they can cover up and give us whatever story they want. Yeah, and you're right, Chad. They wouldn't have been widely known that this was going on. It would have been, local people would have eventually got hip to it. But just like today, I'm sure a lot of people be like, "Oh, that the Smithsonian is a trusted and respected institution. There's no way they would do that. These guys are conspiracy nuts,"
Yeah, I was saying earlier, it's like that. You at the end of Indiana Jones, you see the giant warehouse with all the crates and everything's stored there. All these secrets are stored there. That's where they put the Ark of the Covenant. It's probably where the bones of all these giants are. Some fucking warehouse somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Even Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, Abraham Lincoln had a speech where he said the mounds are littered with the bones of that giant race whose eyes once gazed over Niagara, right? And then people will try to say they're talking about woolly mammoths. It's like, if you really read it, though, he's talking about giant people, and the bones they were finding in the mounds, which he literally says the bones that fill the mounds were human bones, not mammoth bones. So, I don't know. People are just lazy and they don't like to think they've been fooled. It's easier to fool somebody than to convince them they've been fooled.
Oh, definitely. Yes.
I mean, that was proven in spades during COVID-19 and with the vaccine.
There's still people that believe it.
Hey, I'm grateful for 2020 because that triggered. I mean, I'd always been a skeptic of the mainstream narrative and of government, but that sent me into hyper overdrive, and it basically triggered this awakening in me. That's, it still isn't complete. It happens in layers, like a layer of an
Sure.
onion. And I'm grateful for that, because
It happens.
everything that happens to us, I think it's Japanese or Chinese in the word
Dirty
problem.
knees, look at these. Oh,
Yeah. Well, no, in the word problem, the word opportunity is hidden and contained within the word problem. So in every problem, there's an opportunity,
Yes.
oh yeah.
I think a lot of people in 2020 woke up and were like, wait a minute, what the fuck? They're just plain out lying to us. But then I trip out on the people that went all through it, believed everything. Everything's been proven false. And they're still like, yeah, mainstream media, they tell us the truth. Like, what the fuck? It's just.
Yeah, and then they don't research that 96% of it's owned by 5 companies. And it's the same 5 companies that own the banks, that own the media.
Right.
But
and it was like it was also the first time that we were being lied to, and it could be debunked in real time. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've gotten away with all this shit before, where it was like, yeah, it would take maybe days, weeks, months, years, if ever. But this time it was like, it was almost fucking rapidly fire. Like, they'd put out a saying, we didn't say this, and then videos of them saying it. And then it was just,
and real-time definition changes on the WHO website of what a vaccination is defined as, But yeah, I mean, that's all. We can talk about, but I hope everybody that would watch you or listen to me is already hip to all that stuff. You know what I mean?
We would hope so. Yes, we would hope so.
Yeah.
So Josh, back to South America. I'm sure you've seen Graham Hancock talk about, they're using LiDAR on the Amazon to find all these different, giant cities and stuff that are buried under the jungle. Like that again tells you that there are civilizations that we don't even fucking know about that exist all over the Amazon.
Oh yeah, we're talking about like insane amounts of land that have structures and roads and pyramids buried under in the Amazon that we haven't even begun to excavate yet. And there's all kinds of evidence too to show that most of the Amazon, due to the distribution of the type of vegetation and where it's grown, that it was all intentionally. It's like a big fucking farm, right? It wasn't natural at all, like the garden, And
like, supposedly it's not fertile land except for where they like made it fertile.
Yeah, so burn and slash agriculture, right? So they would take a small tract of land, basically clear out all the trees, set it on fire, and then the ash would create like a fertile soil that they could use for so many years until the nutrients were depleted, and then they'd have to go to a different patch of land to do that with. That's the way it eventually became. Yeah, slash and burn agriculture. Amazing. And one thing that connects to like Central America, South America, Native Americans that I wanted to share with you guys because I'm really excited about it. I stumbled upon something unbelievable that I think you guys will really appreciate, right? So I'm doing research on Chinese petroglyphs, right? Because, I compare all the rock art and the petroglyphs to the plasma discharge. Right. And I stumble upon this book that somebody wrote showing that the images that I've been researching for 6 years that are all over rock art everywhere by the hundreds of thousands in every single country and present in plasma discharge stages in the experiments that Anthony Peratt was doing for Los Alamos, those same symbols were used as basically hieroglyphs for a Bronze Age Chinese language. So they literally, they saw the symbols in the sky, turned it into their language. It's a light language that the Bronze Age Chinese people were using. Now, this guy doesn't know that though. He only went so as far as to see the symbols they were using and then finding those symbols on that the Chinese Bronze Age were using for their language, finding them on petroglyphs in the American Southwest. And his immediate hypothesis, since he doesn't know about Anthony Peratt or the plasma, was that Chinese people from the Bronze Age came over here and taught Native Americans their language. Wow. But then he'll look at a petroglyph. Yeah, he'll look at a petroglyph and he'll say, see, what's being depicted right here is a traveler from China came to America and made a ritual sacrifice of a dog in honor of the Chinese emperor. And it's like,
wow.
Nonsense. You know what I mean? Nonsense. It's like, I'm not denying that the petroglyphs are used for Chinese Bronze Age language. They absolutely are. But every culture saw it in the sky and had a different response to it, right? The
So
Chinese
what happened to
Bronze
that
Age turned it
Chinese
into a
language?
language. What's that?
So what happened to that Chinese language? Is it something they abandoned and moved on to something else? Like how
Yeah,
come it
because
didn't?
what happens in China is every so often back in the day there would be new empires, right, and new dynasties, and just like today, like oh, let's say in Rome, right, how they would erase the native language and then replace it with a different language to kind of replace their history, just like we do with the Native Americans, right? We re-educate them and give them a different language to disconnect them from their history. They did that in China, but I think it was the if I remember right, I think it was the proto or pre or pro before the Qin or Qin dynasty. It was a Bronze Age Chinese dynasty that used these petroglyphs or these plasma discharges for their pictograms or their hieroglyphs. And yeah, this guy came over here, found the same art on native.
Wow.
Now, the thing is, though, is that same shit is everywhere on rocks, everywhere, the same symbols, the same tropes. So if he were to look a little bit deeper and see that, oh my gosh, some of these petroglyph panels have glyph over glyph over glyph over glyph over glyph to show this is a recurring cycle, right? One is written over the other one as it happened in cycles. And two, some of them would make absolutely no sense. So it's like when you have a hammer, everything's a nail, right? So this guy will work hard to smash his round theory into a square hole by selectively choosing which ones to focus on and translate, right? But if you were to try to translate a giant panel, it would be able to even make a sensible translation out of it, right? So he's unaware of Pratt's work, or he's aware of it, and it's part of the cover-up to obfuscate Pratt's research because it's like the most important shit in the history of the human, history to understand.
Yeah.
But so yeah, I made a video recently showing here is why Bronze Age language pictogram hieroglyphs match Native American petroglyphs.
What years are the
Bronze his theory?
What years are like is the Bronze Age? I don't even know.
Oh, if I remember right now, I'm spitballing here. I think it might have been somewhere around like 1100 BC, maybe. There was around that time there was the Bronze Age collapse, and so many civilizations, according to the narrative, just suddenly had destructive events happen to them, and to where it like destroyed their culture. And they have theories that there was a war or some stuff, but there's probably some big natural disaster that reset people back to the Stone Age and scattered populations and stuff like that.
Well, with all this and with your 100% belief that like underground is really the only way to survive this inevitable event, are you like trying to figure out a way to bunker down or like hitch a ride to somebody's bunker? Because I mean, if you believe this as wholeheartedly as you do, like I feel like that would be mission number one.
Well, a couple things. One, there's evidence that this happens about every 12,900 years, and the Younger Dryas ended about 12,900 years ago. So it should happen any day now, basically. There's tree ring data, there's ice core data, there's different kinds of chemicals and gases present in Greenland ice core samples that prove what date this happened and how often it happens, and it's due any day. Now, whether that means tomorrow or 2038 or 2055, when you're looking at a cycle of 13,000 years, give or take 30 years. You know what I mean? It's nothing.
One quick question.
On the radar. Yeah.
One quick question. Have you heard? So I don't know who it is, but supposedly somewhere along 600 AD. Like 300 to 400 years were taken out because some king wanted his reign to be like during the year 1000 AD. So they like added like 300 to 400 years to our timeline so he could do that. Do you think it's possible that that actually happened and maybe we're not a year or two away? We're like 300 or 400 years away because of that added timeline.
Well, two things. One, you can't fudge tree ring data. Okay,
True.
Tree rings grow year by year, so they just by analyzing the tree rings, they can tell you what year this happened, what year this was in the record when this happened, right? So no matter what they try to do with the dates and as far as they tell us what it is, this shit happened like 12,900 years ago, regardless of how they fudge the dates now. Does that make sense? And Two, yes, absolutely. There's a Russian mathematician who is a genius. He was either a mathematician or a chess wizard, one of the two, maybe both. Can't remember his name off the top of my head. Maybe it'll pop in my head while I'm talking here.
Or
But
maybe Bobby will look it up.
yeah, he wrote a book called something like the 1,000 years added to our timeline, false chronology. And there's also another gentleman named Gunnar Heinzhone, who did work with the different layers of geology, or different layers of accumulated substance on our Earth. And between both of their research, it's undeniable that between 700 to 1,000 years was added, right? And what they did is to explain this destruction. They created all these stories, and then a lot of the stories even repeat two to three times, like 1,000 years later or 600 years later in the narrative. Oh, we've got this destruction of this place, and then 600 years later we've got the destruction of that place again. And a lot of them even have repeating names of like rulers. They get really sloppy and lazy with it.
Yeah.
And Gunnar Heinzhone and this guy who wrote this book, man, I wish I could remember his name, but he speculates that 1,000
I
years
think
were
Bobby
added.
says flamenco.
Yes, Anatoly Fomenko. And then Gunnar Heinzhone says it's between 700 and 1,000, and Fomenko says 1,000. So, yeah, I do believe that's possible, but I don't believe it could change when to expect this event because the tree ring data, right?
Yeah.
Now, am I looking for to go underground? I'm looking for more metaphysical protection. I don't necessarily want to survive this event just by like being desperate and going underground. I look to the Hopi, the Native American, the Hopi lore. They say that we're in our fifth world, and the four previous cataclysms happen, and they alternate between fire and water. And during the last one, strange clouds and moving stars, which sound a lot like sentient plasma to me, or intelligently controlled aerial devices by advanced beings, led them to this person or this godlike character named Sotuknang. And Sotuknang hooked them up with what they call the ant people, and the ant people sheltered the Hopi underground while the earth was burnt from above. And they taught them, how to store food. And even to this day, the Hopi celebrate the Bean Festival every year to remember these ant people who helped them survive underground. So I'm rolling with Sotuknang and the sentient plasma. If I'm meant to survive it, then it'll find me, and I'll see the moving stars and the strange clouds, and it'll tell me where to go.
And Josh, we talk about this before on other shows, but like, do you think this is a 12,000 year or 13,000 year solar event, or is it a comet strike?
Okay, I'll tell you what. I have a video coming out on Saturday. Okay. And it's gonna break it down. It's actually everything recently in my last 6 years of research came together like a tessellating fractal pattern, and just boom, it hit me that I needed to put out this video because the guy I reference, Anthony Peratt, who is a plasma physicist at Los Alamos, for 25 years after he discovered this, he worked with a guy named John McGovern. And him and John McGovern went to over 100 countries and logged in conjunction and cooperation with these countries and their governments and the researchers in those countries, every single petroglyph that they could. They have an online supercomputer database of millions of petroglyphs. Wow. And they documented them by latitude. Okay. And think about this. If we're all in a circle and we look up at the roof and there's a drawing on the roof, there's a number 6. One person will see a 9, the other person will see a 6, and the other two will see sideways versions of those, not a 6 or a 9, right? So if you reconstruct the petroglyphs by latitude, you'll see the individual perspective that location had.
Wow.
And so they used a supercomputer over 25 years of gathering millions of petroglyphs in over 100 countries to document and recreate what it would have looked like from each perspective and each latitude and each altitude, right? And John McGovern, about a year ago, watched one of my YouTube videos. I was put in touch with him via one of my Facebook friends who knew him somehow. And for the last year, on and off, we've been emailing. And here recently, we've been emailing back and forth every single day. And he's been sharing stuff with me that, back up hunches and intuitions I've had and confirmed my own research. And it is a solar proton event, a solar nova event is what it is. It's a micro or supernova, or what they would call a solar proton event. Basically, the sun will store a charge and then emit that charge at regular intervals. And they talk about it in the Ramayana, in the Hindu epic. They talk about this. And in the Sumerian text, on
But
the
Josh,
Sumerian tablets,
I thought that the
they talk
last
about
event was fire, and then like so they should alternate with water. Like so, this one should be like a water cataclysmic.
well, no, the last major one. I'm talking about the last one that the Hopi survived underground was fire, but the last event that was a flood, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But this one is due for fire, and according to my research, I mean, I could be wrong. Take everything I say, do your own research. But I'm just telling you, I'm obsessive with this stuff, and I'm like, I have ADD, and a lot of times I'm not working, so I have infinite amount of time to just dive in and try to piece all this together, right? So
that's what people should gather from what you're saying is like you're not just spewing nonsense and like trying to do like what flat earthers do and like prove a fucking theory that doesn't make sense. You're actually proving a fucking theory that is like you're putting together from facts and good cold hard research. So it's like people should really understand that when you're speaking from knowledge and not just from bullshit. I hope they.
I appreciate you on that. Yeah, and here's the thing: is I don't ask anybody to believe me, and I'm not trying to prove anything. I'm just saying, hey, I've been researching this, and this is how it comes together for me. You're welcome to my research if you want to learn about what I think is going to happen. And in my video that's coming out on the 6th on Saturday, I put links to official research about the ice core data, links to official research about the tree ring data, links to Anthony Peratt's paper that he published that's peer reviewed, links to his paper that he did with John McGovern on the latitude documentation, and also screenshots of comments that John McGovern has made on my posts. Now, Anthony Peratt, once the government realized the implications of his research and the true nature of plasma, there's a guy named Scott. Well, there's a family named the Mainwaring family, and they're connected to the Kellogg people, the Kellogg Foundation. And Kellogg people were trying to like castrate kids and feed them stuff that made them sterile and stuff back in the day, and they were heavily involved in eugenics, right?
Why do you laugh at castrate kids, Josh?
No, because it's absurd that people will I'm trying to make a larger point, right? There's this group of people that's perverted Anthony Peratt's research. They're called the Electric Universe. They're people like David Talbot and Wal Thornhill, and they've changed everything from plasma to electric. Anthony wrote about the plasma universe, not the electric universe. And what they're doing in this process is they're obfuscating the true nature of plasma and the fact that fusion and implosion is a much cleaner and more efficient way to produce energy. So these clowns at the Electric Universe have been bankrolled by the Mainwaring family and by the Kellogg Foundation to make some of this mainstream, but obfuscate the further grander implications of it. And that group tried to offer Anthony Peratt a tenured position at the University of Pennsylvania in exchange for the government taking over his supercomputer and his research and everything. He said no. They said, you'll never publish another paper again. And sure as shit, he never got to publish another IEE peer-reviewed paper again. And he went on to just publish in independent, smaller publications like the Pleistocene Times magazine and stuff like that. So it's not funny that they tried to castrate kids.
Right.
But I was just talking about it to tie it into how evil this Kellogg Foundation is, how they're connected to the Mainwaring family and Scott Mainwaring, and how Scott Mainwaring and the Kellogg Foundation is connected to and funding the Electric Universe guys like David Talbot and Wal Thornhill to intentionally obfuscate things and skew it more towards an electric universe and away from Anthony's plasma universe, which covers up the implications of what plasma can be used for, which is fusion and implosion tech. And that relates back to like the research that Walter Schauberger was doing and Walter Russell was doing. And I think that's very important. I wanted to get that out there.
Yes. Now, if you could tie it into where the Rothschilds and Rockefellers are involved, I think we'll get a lot more people involved because they got to be somewhere in this mix.
Well, yeah,
No?
I mean, they were one of those guys. I think Rockefeller was involved in covering up Tesla's research, and Tesla was working with plasma, you know.
Well, the only reason I say it because from what everybody in the world is saying, like those two families kind of run everything or kind of know everything.
Here's the thing, though. You got to think anybody who really runs the shit. They're not. These people are front men. They're like the front men. They're the people that they want you to see, right? The people who they're like the face of the evil that you're allowed to see. The true names that nobody ever talks about is like the Medici family and the Pasteurs. And the other thing is that a lot of these people have they changed their names over time. Like the Rothschilds, that wasn't even their real name. They adopted that name, but they're the ones put in charge of the banking industry, right? So during the Napoleonic Wars, there's some evidence that shows that Rothschild family sent back fake news to Europe to say that Europe lost the war ahead of the real news that came in that they won. And before the real news came in, everybody sold their stocks because they knew that the stock market was going to go to shit. And then when everything went down to pennies on the dollar, Rothschild swept in and bought everything. And then when the real news came in, everybody started buying their stocks back and he became rich. And then he set up 5 of his sons to run banks in 5 different countries. Brilliant. And if you look at their, Jacob Rothschild's skull, he's got a cone head, man. He's one of them Rh negative Homo capensis half breeds.
Oh boy. Lovely.
Yeah. Paracas. That's the country in Peru. Paracas, or the region in Peru, the culture. Paracas skulls. Yeah, that I was trying to think of earlier.
Right.
Conehead skulls.
Real quick, supposedly the government was using 23andMe and Ancestry.com to see who was like half-breeds or breeded with aliens or whatever non-human things, and supposedly they got some answers. Just saying.
No, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it at all that there was some nefarious objective to try to figure out where the remnants of this blood type or this haplogroup or this crossbreed between Neanderthals and Denisovans and Homo sapiens are, because there are rare blood types, there's Rh positive, Rh negative, and then there's Rh null. There's a third one, and very, very, very few people have it, and they call it golden blood. Right.
I have a serious question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think any of the 13 scientists that are missing right now were studying any of the shit you're talking about?
Yeah.
Good question.
Yeah. Plasma fusion, implosion tech and plasma fusion, 100%.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
I'm working on a video where I'm talking about the difference between atomic bombs, hydrogen bombs, fission, fusion, and how plasma can be used in fusion and implosion technology to produce much more cleaner and much more efficient technology. So it's just there's a lot of pieces to it, and it's a lot of in-depth research that I'm having to educate myself on. So it might be a couple weeks before it's out, but but I'm not scared. I mean, to me, I'm just a spiritual being having a human experience in this flesh suit, and the worst they can do is kill me, right?
I was just gonna say, but that's what might make you maybe dangerous in their eyes, is the fact that you're not this connected to that world, and you're drawing all these conclusions and putting a lot of shit together and building an audience while doing it. You're kind of putting it in layman's terms and making it available to people that it normally wouldn't be. Like those 13 scientists that are missing, they probably weren't talking to normal people like our audience, but you are, so it's like, who the fuck knows, man? You might be
that's the thing is, part of me is like, I don't have a big enough audience for them to worry about it, but part of me is like, you know what, I meet the requirements to be monetized on YouTube, but they won't monetize me. They say I don't have original content. My content is like the most original thing on YouTube. They
So
won't let me get super chat donations. They will not let me have a hype button. So you cannot hype my videos. So they will not allow me to get money from their platform or be hyped to be boosted in the algo. So they're scanning my stuff with their AI and they know what I'm talking about and they don't want it boosting the algo. I'll tell you that much.
You're
But
over
again,
the target.
ultimately, I feel like I was born and put on this earth in this incarnation to get this information out as best as I could and to synthesize it in a way. And I don't care if they kill me. I don't care. I think about the Prince song, 7, right? And in that song, he says, 13 souls from now will still be here. You know what I mean? I believe in reincarnation and I believe I'm a spiritual being in this flesh suit. And if I die some kind of whatever word you want to use, a martyr for plasma or whatever, then great, I'm going to Paula or whatever. You know, it's like I don't love
Destiny
this
fulfilled.
backwards, upside down, perverted, inverted physical world enough to silence what I think is important in exchange for my life or whatever, you know.
Damn, man, when you believe in something like that, I don't know much that I do, where I'm like, yeah, I'm just willing to give my life for it. But dude, that means you're on the path. So your research brings you into like historical stuff, scientific stuff, mathematics, symbols, all this shit. It's like it really is like a knowledge grasp that touches almost every subject on the planet. Is there one fashion of it, like it almost, because like as you get to the science portion of it, I'm like my brain will kind of gloss over. I'm like, these are too scientific and smart terms for me. Like, do you find all of it fascinating, or is there a part of your research where you're like, I don't want to dive into this as much?
Well, no, I mean, to me it's all connected, and if I come across something I don't understand, I just research it and read about it until I do understand it. And if I ever use a word that's like too scientific, let me know and I'll break it down into terms that anybody can understand. You know, like I've taught myself about something called magnetohydrodynamics. When I saw that word, I didn't even know what it meant. I could barely read it, right? Kind of joking, but what magnetohydrodynamics is, okay, so plasma is a fluid, or gas. Gas is a fluid. It's not a liquid, but it's a fluid. Water is also a fluid. It means any substance that will take the shape of its container. Okay. So gas is not a liquid, but it's a fluid, just like water. And certain fluids like liquid metals and ionized gas or plasma that is shedding its electrons and glowing and creating its own magnetic field will interact with the magnetic field. So hydro, meaning like water or fluid, magnet, meaning magnetized, and dynamics, meaning the way they interact together. So what happens is when this plasma comes in from the solar micronova, it comes in these filaments, they call them Birkeland currents, these columns, they call them Z-pinches, and the energetic discharge of it ionizing and shedding its electrons, those electrons and that energy creates its own magnetic field, and those electrons then adhere to that magnetic field and create visible neon signs, basically, for lack of a better term, and for easy access for people to understand, in our sky. And that's like, you know, the Paul Simon song, Sounds of Silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made.
Interesting. Wow.
Yeah, that is actually.
I mean, that's pretty easy to understand, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like with a neon sign, it's just glowing gas contained in a glass tube. That's what a neon sign is. But instead of it being contained in a glass tube, it's contained by its own magnetic field that it creates. And they see it in the sky taking very distinctive shapes.
When you say gas is a fluid and not a liquid, like, I don't understand the difference between fluid and a liquid. Like, what is the difference?
Well, a liquid would be more like
something that can't convert to gas.
Well, no, because everything like water is a liquid, but if you heat it up, it becomes steam, which is a gas. If you get it cold, it becomes solid, it becomes ice. And there's 4 states to everything. It can be a liquid state, a solid state, a gas state, or a plasma state. But the key thing to understand is that a fluid is basically anything that takes the shape of its container. If I put a wooden block into a bowl, the wooden block retains its shape. It doesn't adhere to the shape of the bowl. But if I would take like an aquarium, a sealed fish aquarium or something, and put gas in there, it will expand in all directions and fill it and take the shape of that container, just like liquid would, or just like a water would, which is a fluid, right?
Yeah.
So there is a slight difference between fluid and liquid, but gas is absolutely a fluid. So it adheres to something called fluid dynamics and magnetohydrodynamics, which I explained earlier.
Yeah. So what is the end? Like, are you like researching all this hoping to get to a certain point, or is this like just going to be like a never ending kind of quest and always like learning about the way this stuff works?
I don't know. I just know that it's what I'm passionate about, so it doesn't feel like work to me. I like learning,
Right.
and I like it when I'm mystified by something, and like something's like a puzzle to me, and I like having stuff to work on and try to decode and try to piece a puzzle together. And I think most of it's come together for me, and I think my mission at this point is to try to get it out to as many people as possible in ways that they'll understand it via my YouTube channel.
So and then let's just say this gets out to the masses. What is it? What do you think this does for the masses at that point? Like, how do they use this information?
That's a good question. That's a good question. It's a really good question. Ultimately, do I see any definite like positive thing happening or mass change? Not necessarily, but I just think that every human being deserves to know this information that's hidden from them. And part of me thinks that if enough people wake up to the true reality of what's going on and how much we're lied to, that just that collective awareness will trigger some kind of response that helps shatter the system that we're in,
Yes. Yeah.
And even if it doesn't, that's the best way I can think of to with my abilities to contribute to trying to hopefully maybe achieve something like that.
Do you think the collective conscience, like all focusing on the same thing, could affect plasma? Is that even a question? Yeah. Okay.
Yes, there has been studies showing that plasma has self-organizing properties and somewhat of a sentient nature. So I'll give you an example. You've seen a plasma ball before, right?
I believe so. Like a big ball of energy.
Well, I'm just talking about a toy that you can play with when you're a kid. It's just like this thing you can buy on the internet for like $20, and it's like rays of wiggly light shoot out from the center and hit the edge of the globe. And
yeah.
And if you hold your hand to it, all the plasma streams will go towards your hand where you put your hand on it. And if you hover a light bulb over it without even touching it, it'll light up the light bulb.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's crazy. So there's been studies done where people will focus on a plasma ball and try to get the plasma without touching it to go to one side or the other. Okay. Now, the result of the study is super interesting because they found out that without that intention and focus by outside observers, there's no change in the plasma. But with the focus of an individual, it will move to one side or the other.
That's crazy.
In higher probability, but it gets even crazier, okay? Because it doesn't always obey the will and intention and go to the side that they want to. So they don't understand why it basically listens to the intention and obeys the intention of some people and then defies other people. And it might be something to do with how we resonate, what level of truth we're living with and how pure our heart and our energy is, So yeah, I mean, on an individual level,
I go one step further there. I go one step further there. I say you're consciously telling it to go to the left side, but your subconscious, which the plasma is listening to mostly, is telling it to go to the other side.
Maybe.
Hey.
Could be. I don't, I can only speculate on what the implications of that information is.
Yeah.
And I'm not a scientist, I'm just I didn't even go to college. I'm just, self-educated autodidact.
That's why when you said the original thing where, if a person is looking at it, but they're not trying to give it a command, like go to the left and right, you said it won't do anything. But my brain, as you were talking, said it will do something, because as you're not focusing on it to do something, your subconscious was kind of focusing on it, and it pointed it in that direction.
Maybe I might have not been clear with what I was trying to say. I'm like, if there's nobody around a plasma ball, it'll behave one way.
Gotcha.
Right. And it won't tend to go this way or that way, to the right or to the left. But if you introduce a human with intentions to the situation, it will start changing which way it tends to go, but it won't always respond in line with the intention of the person in the room.
Makes sense.
So it responds to intention, but it doesn't always obey it.
Yeah. So it's responding to your will somehow, but it might not always obey it, but it's certainly responding to the human in the room. Gotcha.
Right. So if that can happen on an individual level, just imagine what could happen on a collective level. There's been studies called the Maharishi effect, where they got like 200 or 300 like Buddhist monks who knew how to do transcendental meditation, and had them meditate for months trying to reduce crime in Washington, D.C. And the crime rate went down by like 25% during the time that they were doing that.
Was that before or after Trump sent in the National Guard? No, I'm just kidding.
This was years ago, probably in the 70s or 80s.
Got you. Dude, I mean, they should do more experiments like that, because it's not hurting anything. And if it possibly works, then, it's a good thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, the bottom line is that we are electromagnetic beings. And when we have a thought, there are electric responses going on to transmit neurons and information and all that. And it doesn't stop within our body. It goes out into the air. And again, air is a fluid, air is gas, air is a fluid. And just like a stone in a pond creates ripples to infinity or to the edge of the pond, our thoughts create ripples and infinity as well.
Yeah. The whole, like a butterfly flapping its wings could like create a tsunami on the other side of Earth type of deal, but only through thoughts and all that jazz.
Yeah, because thoughts are just as real physically as far as the electricity and energy as anything else. It's just, people might think, oh, no, because I can't see it. Well, you can't see Wi-Fi either, but you get on the internet every day. You can't see love, but you tell people you love them, like it's real shit.
And that's an actual thing. Like there's actual like electricity and shit running through your body, like brain signals and shit. Like there's actual, they could measure a current. I think it might not be like,
they can even photograph it. There was I think it was a Russian scientist, and he did this thing called Kirlian photography. And it's highly poo-pooed as pseudoscience because they don't want you to know this shit, right? But using very, very sensitive and specific cameras, they could capture pictures of basically your aura, the energy surrounding your physical body.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Kirlian, Kirlian photography.
Oh, yeah. Bobby posted it up, Kirlian. That's crazy, dude. I would like to see what my aura looked like.
Now, I made a YouTube video on that, and they took it down.
What was the reason they took it down?
They said it's pseudoscience, and it's dangerous medical misinformation.
Wow, bro.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I got a strike for it and couldn't post for 2 weeks.
And like, do they have a basis to say it's pseudoscience? Like, are they coming up with an article or something that's referencing how it's?
No, what happens is when one of these things, like a major discovery, is figured out like this, they'll just have all their, the bankers, the people who control the media and the banks. They have their little minions who they fund. Just put out a paper that say, oh, this could not be independently replicated.
Of course,
right?
yes. Mm-hmm.
So it's pseudoscience.
Crazy, man.
But anything that is actively labeled pseudoscience, automatically I like dig into that even further. I'm like, oh, this is the truth right here.
Makes sense. Well, that's like when you said, I mentioned the Rothschilds and Rockefellers. You said, yeah, those are the names they want you to know. Like, that's what's so fucked up is they're playing like literally 4D chess. So it's like they're directing you towards people they want you to know, making you think they're the villain when they're fucking really covering up for these other people that really run this shit. It's like, it's so deep and twisted that it's like, thank God
And
there's
that
people
brings
like
us
you
back-
tracking all this shit.
That brings us back full circle to disclosure about aliens. Look up so you don't look down, right?
Right. There you go.
But hey, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I wish I could stay in chat for longer, but I got some things I got to take care
Yeah,
of,
man.
some obligations.
It's all
We'll
good.
see you again in 2 weeks, dude. Let everybody know where to go. Check out your YouTube channel and everything else.
Yeah, it's just search Electric Gnosis, and Gnosis is with a silent G on the front of it. So the word electric, and then GNOSIS. And the reason I named my channel that is because Gnosis is like a Greek term meaning internal or divine knowledge, like intuition that doesn't rely on an external person or authority teaching you that. And the electric part is because this entire world is electric, right? So I get my knowledge through the ether, through the electricity, through intuition, electric Gnosis. So that's where they can find my YouTube channel.
Beautiful.
And you could check out his counterpart, Electric Agnostic, on YouTube.
We're
Josh
bitter
goes,
rivals.
Yeah,
There you
man. You're coming on again in 2 weeks, so that should be a fun show, dude. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Josh.
Yeah, man. 4.0.
Yeah, we'll try to
coming
get
on up.
the video situation worked out for that one. But as always, thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure talking with you, and hopefully,
Camera working next
2
time.
weeks will be just as productive and fiery of a conversation.
Excellent.
Will. Thank you, my man.
Take
the
care.
one and
Thank you.
only Electric Gnosis, folks. Go check out his YouTube page and all that jazz. I believe he's back on Facebook there too. But dude, and his videos are real. Like if you watch one, there's some of them are like 30 minutes, 35 minutes, stuff like that. Like they're in depth. We kind of just touch on stuff here, but he uses pictures and stuff. It's really cool.
I'm on his YouTube page right now. He has 2 videos premiering. One's the 2nd, which is today, and then one in 4 days on the 6th. So they look very interesting. Yeah.
Go check them out there, folks. I wanted to bring this up. I think we were speaking about it beforehand. Actually, let me put that up first. You see what Mr. President Trump said to Benjamin Netanyahu, or however the fuck you say it. You're fucking crazy. You'd be in prison if it weren't for me. I'm saving your ass. Everybody hates you now. Everybody hates Israel because of this. This is on Fox News.
What's he talking about?
I'm guessing the Iran war. I'm not sure. It seems to me that every time our president negotiates a peace deal with Iran, somehow Israel's bombing parts of shit and just starting it all back up again. So I think that they met somewhere, and this was like a direct quote that was ripped from it.
Well, if that would throw out the whole Israel controls us vibe.
Yeah. Where's that? Oh, yeah. If he said that, yeah. Very true. Yeah. But just nuts, man. And good for President Trump for saying that, because it seemed like a good idea, but it's seeming like it's not now. And Iran's talking about cutting up the world's fucking internet cables under the ocean.
Well, whether it was, in my opinion, whether it was a good idea then or now, it fucking had to be done. Like they were going to get a nuclear weapon, and then all bets are fucking off. Just period.
Right.
Whether you like it or not now, or I think Trump's the only fucking guy that could have done it. No other president even attempted anything like this. They just sent him cash and hope they fucking did the right thing, especially Obama and his fucking bullshit deal. It's just been ridiculous. So, maybe Israel gave us wrong information that made us do it, but eventually they're going to have a nuclear weapon. And and if that happened, it would be fucking all bets are off in the whole world. They could fucking take out Israel, take out Europe. It's just not good.
Well, and this war shows that we probably don't even know how far along they were with their nuclear capabilities, because we didn't know how many fucking underground missile silos they had and all this other shit that we're kind of learning as we're going to war with them. So they could have been further along. They could have, been on the path. But I thought when he bombed them like 6 months ago, like he said, that the nuclear program's gone. You know what I'm saying? When he did that underground thing.
Apparently, those bombings stopped the manufacture or the purification of the uranium. They still have the dust that they had. They call it uranium, whatever, the nuclear dust, I guess they're calling it now, but whatever. They still have that, but I guess he destroyed the facilities that were making that.
I just, like you said, it probably had to happen, but I wish it just happened after he was in office, because he could. Maybe he turns around like in the next 2.5 years, and like it becomes like not a stain on his record, but I feel like it might be his one and only stain.
If he gets the deal done, it won't be his fucking stain.
True. Yeah,
He'll be a fucking hero.
Yeah,
I mean, he will radically change the whole Middle East.
Yeah. And let's hope it goes that way, because any other way, it's no bueno. But like you said, if that's true, and it's reported on Fox, so I don't think they're gonna just sit there and report a direct quote and it's a lie. That shows that we're not Israel's puppet, and we're starting to fucking be fed up.
Yeah, I've heard this argument many times, and I'm just like, if you even have an inkling of who Donald Trump is, he's not fucking letting Benjamin Netanyahu fucking boss him around. Yeah, it just ain't fucking happening, dude. It ain't fucking happening.
But could Benjamin have fucking inflated his ego and tickled his balls enough to get him to do something like that?
That is possible. That is possible. But the people that say that Benjamin Netanyahu or Israel controls Trump, it just doesn't fucking track with me.
Yeah, you're right. Totally. All right, let's bring on Bobby before we bid the audience adieu, because I got a tinkle, even though I went before the show. What up, Bobby? Who's next week's guest? I think it's the drummer chick.
Yeah, she's back again, so I can talk to her this time. I'm not flying anywhere next week, so I'm good.
I am, so you guys are gonna have to do the show without me. So that'll be fun. She's been putting out some cool videos, and that 9 Inch Nails project is coming up, so that should be fun. What up, Bobby?
Very cool.
I thought that show was great. I love James. He has a lot of information. I'm glad that I'm glad I got to meet him.
Me too. I'm going to talk in Bobby's very slow cadence here, and we'll see how
slow. How is this slow?
Hold on, Bobby. I'm gaining an audience here by talking very slow and very deliberate in my speech. Joshua was great, and
is it James or Josh? I was calling him Josh.
Joshua James.
Oh, Joshua James. Okay. So.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, was I calling the wrong name? God damn it.
No. Chad, if somebody's making a mistake on the show, it's Bobby, not you. Come on, dude.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
No, but so he actually, so it's not his real name, but that's the name he uses, like with Electric Gnosis. And probably smart, because I think he's trying to not be so doxxed. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. Like just the simple fact that YouTube will not allow him to monetize or anything. I was like, you're over the target. You're over the target with something.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't let any truth monetize.
Right.
And he has well over the threshold to be monetized,
Sure.
So it's just stupid on their part. They're allowing the videos to be played. But I mean, I guess it's not stupid on their part, because the videos are getting played. People are seeing them, but he's not getting paid for ads. It's ridiculous.
I think eventually YouTube is going to lose a lot. They're going to lose a lot.
All they need to do is all we could do it right now, Bobby, is use an AI KPI to make a YouTube that is non-algorithmic and just kind of shows stuff that you really would want to see and shows the people you follow. And you can do that with AI like that. Yes, Chad. What made YouTube popular?
Wow,
the fact that
to make like an interface for it. Yeah, absolutely.
You definitely could, man. Anything else, Bobby? You want to let the audience know anything? Did you tell them that your third leg is starting to grow? You're finally hitting puberty?
No, I wanted to show this child. He's like 6 years old, and he has perfect pitch.
Oh yeah.
And he plays like every instrument there is. And he's also a producer. Kid is 6 years old.
Yeah, I gotta follow this kid.
6 years old, and he can do it all pretty much already.
See, this leads me to believe reincarnation.
Well, that's
me too.
And now I'm starting to like question, like, have I done enough with my life? Because I didn't do any of that by 6.
Right.
Okay, so this is him. He's playing Band on the Run, but he's playing it on all 10 instruments. This was during the lockdown, and I don't know if he's getting.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's getting taught by his parents. I don't know if they're produced. I don't know anything about. They don't really put any information about how he's learned everything. But this kid is a genius, and I'm just gonna play this for.
So God bless quarantine for this kid too.
I mean,
that's amazing. Goddamn.
I could show other videos. Here's him playing Dylan.
Come on.
Kid is a genius.
That's Tom Petty, you moron.
I mean,
that is Tom Petty.
Yeah, Petty. I thought this was the Dylan one.
You thought it was Dylan because of the harmonica.
Yeah.
You ball hair. That kid's pretty cool though.
What's his name? Miles what? Miles the
music kid. All right, so here's him.
I gotta find him.
Actually producing something.
People watch you produce, and I think that they think like your dad's.
Wait a second. He's been on a podcast
or whatever, but you really just kind of learn the DAW yourself.
Yeah. My dad, he sort of knows like the basic just from watching me.
Got it.
He rubs it in.
I like to remind you.
We're like, oh, Miles, I think I know how to do that. I've seen you do that. Let me try to do that for you. It's like,
No!
Dad, you're just going to mess it up.
Okay, so you're 9 years old now.
Yes, I am 9.
Do you have the most?
Oh, he's 9 now, dude? That's too old. Bobby, how many followers does he have?
Over 1 million.
Wow. And have you not reached out to get him on the show yet, dude?
He doesn't do social media. His parents.
It seems like he does. He's on podcasts and he's doing.
Well,
Instagram.
his parents manage him, but I would have to get in touch with his parents. So that's the thing.
I'm sure you could DM that Miles the Kid account, whatever, and get in touch with somebody.
I'm working on it, but I don't know if they're going to let him on the show. You know.
Well, you just put the offer out there and let them decide. You know.
Yeah.
We can't get a yes. We can't get a yes if we don't ask.
It's a good idea. It is a good idea. I was thinking about it too.
Think a little harder next time and then do it. Anyway. So anything else for the audience, Bobby?
No, that was it. I just thought that would be a nice thing to end the show with.
It really is, man. Thank you for that. I do have to pee. What and say the Instagram one more time?
Subscribe and follow.
Miles,
yeah, no. Miles the Music Kid. Miles the Music Kid. Instagram.
The one and only Bobby, folks. I mean, what would the Gracious 2 do without you, Bobby? We just, I love that kid. Another great show there, Mr. Gracie. Next week will be fun. The week after, we have Guy Anderson and Mr. Joshua James, Electric Gnosis, a double guest. Yeah, man.
I don't know if we'll be able to say much.
That's 140. I know. That's 147. That's 140. Oh, dude, that would have been a cool 150 show, but it's 149. oh well, we're going black.